Flipping the switch. Tonight on our news, Bahamas Power and Light rolling out a $30 million project to stabilize electricity across Family Island. Work is already underway from Abaco to Harbor Island. And almost 200 new teachers, including guidance counselors and special services staffs, gearing up for the new term. The Education Minister has some advice as classes get set to resume on September 1st. Plus,
the Atlantis Resort receiving an international award for its efforts in preserving the marine ecosystems. To find out what it is, stay tuned to Our News tonight.
Then at Our News at 7:30, a routine traffic stop turns costly for a 32-year-old man who pleaded guilty to attempting to bribe a police officer. Find out how much he was fined straight ahead. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Berthany McDermott, in for Candino Knowles. Bahamas Power and Light is moving to bring relief to Family Island communities, long frustrated by blackouts and load shedding. Tonight, the power company is unveiling details of its $30 million energy stabilization project, with work already underway on Abaco, Cat Island, Long Island, Mains Island, Eleuthera, and Harbor Island. Our Delvado Emmanuel has the details tonight.
Bahamas Power and Light unveiling its aggressive $30 million Family Island Energy Stabilization Project. For months, Family Islands like Abaco, Cat Island, and Long Island have been plagued with constant power disruptions due to a myriad of reasons, including engine failures. And for years, Harbor Island residents endured frequent blackouts, often taking to social media and the streets to voice their anger. But today, BPL's regional manager Pedro Marcelo says that reality is changing.
Eleuthera has two power stations, one in Roxanne, one in Hatchet Bay. We also have Harbor Island. Harbor Island presently has a subsea cable that connects the two islands. We're not using it. It's energized, but we're not using it. The intention is to be able to interconnect all the power stations, Roxanne, Hatchet Bay, and Harbor Island. So whenever there's a shortfall at one of the power stations, the other one who has the additional capacity could just bring it up without the consumers even noticing that, to avoid the load shedding exercises that you would experience.
Harbor Island has also been selected as a pilot site for smart metering. On the mainland of Eleuthera, the situation is more complex.
We still have issues with old poles, old transformers. Some of the lines don't have the current carrying capacity, what they should, because Eleuthera is a booming economy. So what we're doing is that's why we came up with this plan. So we could target those areas, and now we have to put in additional substations so we could eventually get it to the point that we need to get it to.
And for those residents in Abaco, BPL CEO Tony Seymour says efforts are already underway to address those ongoing power disruptions.
The generator was already installed in Manawarki. That's scheduled to be tied in and expected to be in service by early next week. We're installing 2 additional units on Hopetown, and that will supply all of the load demand on Hopetown, which is one of the larger keys. And we're also installing a unit on Guana Key.
As for Cat Island, officials say the disruptions were due to the failure of 2 out of the 4 units.
While we're conducting repairs on one of the failed units, we're also installing a brand new unit to shore up generation on that island. And we expect to have those completed, I would say, by mid next week.
And in Long Island, surges knocked one of the units offline, leaving the island vulnerable to power cuts if another fails. BPL is exploring a temporary generator in the south to balance the supply across the island. Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Thanks, Delvado. Well, a child rapist has been jailed for 20 years for the sexual assault of a 9-year-old girl. Kennel Romaine did not show any emotion as Justice Janine Weish Gomez handed down her decision. The judge said the victim had to live with the trauma of contracting a sexually transmitted infection as a result. Justice Weish Gomez said that Romaine had failed to show remorse and instead suggested that the culprit was the boyfriend of the young girl's mother. The incident took place in New Providence in November 2020. The Ministry of Education welcoming nearly 193 teachers to the public school system this week. While the full complement wasn't present for the Orientation Wednesday, Education Director Dominique McCartney-Russell telling us guidance counselors and other special services were also in the group. Public schools are set to reopen on September 1st, but teachers will head back to the classroom earlier. Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin gave this bit of advice to the new teachers.
Feel free to encourage them to learn the courtesies, to say thank you, to say good morning, to say yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Believe it or not, it becomes necessary. Help them to value their country so they will be motivated themselves to bring value to its growth and development.
Education Director Dominique McCartney-Russell explains the focus of the program, which addresses multiple areas of the teaching experience.
You will find that this orientation program will focus on your HR matters. We will look at mentoring. We will look at policies, safe practices. We will look at your professional role. And so you will have a plethora of training opportunities, and not just today. We have a mentoring program for teachers and counselors in all of our professions.
A group of more than 10 teachers and students from San Pedro International School and Windsor International School of the Bahamas got the opportunity of a lifetime, visiting China for a summer camp. The camp featured 4 main activities: learning the Chinese language, understanding China's national conditions, experiencing local customs, and exploring urban landscapes. Students got to do fun things like make Chinese tea, ride the metro, and visit and learn more about the wetlands and surrounding ecosystems. Officials say the 10-day trip not only built a bridge for cross-cultural exchange, but also enhanced mutual understanding and friendship between the people of the two countries. The Bahamas Pharmaceutical Association will now be known as the Bahamas Pharmaceutical Union, according to President Dr. Marvin Smith. The BPU's board consists of the same officers as the BPA to ensure continuity and avoid legal challenges. The union is also recruiting members with positive responses from pharmacy owners and distributors. The process of recognition by the Department of Labor and the Office of the Attorney General is also underway, aiming to avoid legal disputes and ensure smooth operations. Smith, who is currently in Dominica at the Caribbean Association of Pharmacists Conference, gave us more insight.
When any time comes, there has to be contracts with all the pharmacy, all the distributors. And really and truthfully, under our status as an association, we're not a collective bargaining agent. So we got together and we hired some legal advice. We spoke with other unions, and we think we forged a good way for us to move forward.
There are currently 3 umbrella unions that have dozens of affiliates. The Trade Union Congress, headed by Obi Ferguson, the Bahamas National Alliance of Trade Union Congress, led by Belinda Wilson, and the National Congress of Trade Union Bahamas, led by Dwayne Woods. When asked if the newly formed union could join one of them,
And so we want to make sure that what we're doing is in the initial stage of this is concentrating on NHI. Okay? And so joining another union, umbrella, whatever else, is going to take away the focus. Right? And that's not where we need to be. Down the road, we'll look and see, and we'll figure out which one of the umbrellas we may or may not come under.
the Department of Meteorology issuing a heat advisory for the Bahamas. Forecasters say feels like temperatures reached 112 degrees Fahrenheit this afternoon. But what will things feel like tomorrow? Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center with your forecast. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Berthany, and a happy Thursday evening, everybody. A very warm day around the islands. Department of Meteorology putting out a heat advisory for the islands, and that will continue for the next couple of days. And we are still warm on the outside. 87 degrees with a few clouds. Your winds out of the west-southwest at 6 miles per hour. That's what's bringing in the warm temperatures. And your feels-like temperature is hanging out in the mid-90s. Taking a look at temperatures around the family of islands right now, it's 87 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Marsh Harbour, Abaco, Governor's Harbour, Eleuthera, and in Alistown, Bimini. 88 in Great Harbour Keys, Berry Islands, Nicholstown, Andros. 89 here in the capital, 87. Central Bahamas, 90. Kemps Bay, wow, warm. 87 in Black Point, Exuma, Arthurstown, Cat Island, Port Nelson, Rum Key. Then we pick up 86s in Coopin Townsend, Salvador, Deadman's Key, actually, and in Georgetown, and into the southeast Bahamas. 85, Duncantown, Ragged Island. 87s once again in Kern Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, Providenciales Tricks in Caicos Islands. Abrahams Bay, 86, and Matthewtown, Inagua, Deep South. You are 88 at this hour. Satellite radar composite. We still have some trailing moisture from Erin, which is well to the north of us, but that moisture plume will remain in place throughout the next day or two as we continue to see some troughing across the area. Scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms will be in the forecast, but we do have a very light wind pressure gradient across the area, so the winds are going to be falling off, but we are going to see some warm temperatures over the next couple of days. So once again, if you plan on doing anything on the outdoors, make sure you stay hydrated and wear some light colored clothing. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at the tropics is still to come.
Coming up in sports, both Bahamian teams hit the court at the Kazova CVCs, and it was not a fun time against the defending champs. We'll tell you all about it.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the teams you already trust.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, Our News is there. From Carifta to Karakomanchogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our News is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court apartment complex.
Our News at 7 brings you that truth in all of the day's top stories, sports, and our view of the world. Join me, Kendino Knowles, weeknights for Our News at 7. Stay with the team you already trust.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's...
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. It was a struggle for both Bahamian teams Wednesday night at the Kazova Senior Volleyball Championships. The ladies were eliminated from medal contention, while the men have one last shot at redemption tonight. In the women's division, defending champions Jamaica eliminated the Bahamas with a 3-1 victory in the quarterfinal at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. Jamaica took the match 26-24, 18-25, 25-21, and 25-13 to advance to face Trinidad and Tobago in the semis. On the men's side, defending champion Suriname clinched the top spot in Pool A with a 3-1 win over the Bahamas, 30-28, 26-24, 25-27, and 25-23. Team Bahamas pulled off a huge win over Jamaica to secure a spot in the promotional playoffs at the Billie Jean King Cup in El Salvador. Leading the way was Simone Pratt, who has yet to drop a game this entire tournament. She dominated her Jamaican opponent 6-love. That makes 3 straight 6-love wins for Pratt, already a historic run for the Bahamas at the Billie Jean King Cup. Since he was promoted to High A earlier this month, Miami Marlins prospect Ian Lewis has had a seamless transition to the next step in his pro baseball career. In 13 games with the Beloit Sky Carp, Lewis is hitting a staggering .404 with a .482 on-base percentage, a .993 OPS, and 9 stolen bases. Athletics competition finally got underway for Team Bahamas at the Junior Pan American Games in Paraguay. Tasha Stubbs was in action in the women's javelin and finished 6th with a best throw of 45.45 meters. Zion Miller ran in the first of 2 400-meter semifinals and finished 10th overall in 47.60 seconds. That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When Our News comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as a new U.S. congressional map has been passed, but Texas Democrats say they aren't backing down. Plus, Sony is raising the cost of all PS5 models, citing tariffs and a slowing gaming market. And the Powerball jackpot hit $700 million. One lucky player could walk away with $316 million in cash. The story when Our News returns.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest-running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. 9 seasons strong, and we're just getting started. This is On the Record.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Texas Democrats say their fight isn't over after Republicans push through a new congressional map aimed at flipping 5 Democrat U.S. House seats. The map, backed by President Donald Trump, passed Wednesday in the Texas House by an 88-52 party line vote after a 2-week Democratic walkout ended Monday. Democrats had blocked the vote.
We won't put up with their and we will push and push and push until we take over this country.
If we were going to do what the people of Texas want us to do, we would put in sensible regulations for hemp and THC products. But that's not what we're doing. The only bill that saw its way to the House floor so far, the last special session and this one, is the redistricting bill.
Sony is raising the price of PlayStation 5 consoles in the U.S. by $50 starting Thursday, citing rising costs and a slower gaming market. All 3 PS5 models are affected, with the base version now set at $499.99 and the top-of-the-line Pro model at $749.99. Sony says the increase is a response to a challenging economic environment and U.S. tariffs on Japanese imports. The company confirmed prices for PS5 accessories in other countries remain unchanged. This follows similar hikes by rivals like Nintendo and Microsoft as tariffs and inflation squeeze global businesses. Industry analysts warn U.S. consumers may see more modest price increases on imported goods in the months ahead. The biggest Powerball jackpot of the year keeps climbing, now an estimated $700 million after Wednesday's drawing produced no grand prize winner. Saturday's winner can choose the full jackpot in annual payouts over 29 years or a one-time cash payout of $316.3 million before taxes. Wednesday's numbers 31, 59, 62, 65, 68, and Powerball 5 did produce other winners, including a $2 million ticket in Tennessee and 2 $1 million tickets. More than 30 players matched 4 numbers plus the Powerball. Pope Leo is calling on Catholics to fast and pray this Friday for peace in the Middle East and Ukraine. At his first public audience since returning from summer break, Leo noted Friday's Marian feast day and urged the faithful to ask God to grant peace and justice and comfort those suffering from war. The Pope has repeatedly appealed for ceasefires in Gaza and Ukraine and for dialogue to end fighting. A massive new tourism project is on the way for Jamaica. Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Monday broke ground for the $700 million Moon Palace, the Grand Montego Bay. The luxury resort set to deliver 3,000 new jobs in St. James. By Palace Resort's development is expected to feature 1,200 suites, 13 restaurants, a water park, and the country's largest spa. Holness says the investment reflects growing confidence in Jamaica's stability and growth. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says the development will also benefit local communities with housing, schools, and health facilities tied into the project. Meanwhile, Moon Palace CEO Gibran Shapur pledged to invest not just in the resort, but in Jamaica's people. Atlantis isn't just making waves as a world-class resort, it's also earning global recognition for its work protecting marine life right here in the Bahamas. The resort just received the Virtuoso Sustainability Leadership Protecting the World Award, honoring years of conservation efforts that go far beyond the hotel walls. Our Joshua Williams has more in tonight's Sustainability First.
Bahamas First, putting sustainability first for our people and our environment. What's first for you and the planet comes first for us.
Atlantis Resort is being recognized for its ongoing dedication to preserving marine ecosystems and advancing responsible tourism. The award presented by Virtuoso, the leading global network for luxury and experiential travel, celebrates organizations setting the standard for sustainable tourism worldwide. Atlantis President and Managing Director Audrey Oswald says, the recognition from Virtuoso reinforces our role as a leader in sustainable tourism and the vital importance of protecting our ocean ecosystems. Founded in 2005, the Atlantis Blue Project Foundation is a nonprofit dedicated to saving sea species and their habitats throughout the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Over the last 25 years, the foundation has bred, rescued, and released more than 7,500 endangered sea turtles, donated over 7,000 mangrove seedlings for local wetland restoration projects, helped establish 1.4 million acres of marine protected areas, rescued, rehabilitated, and reintroduced 160 animals back into their natural habitats. Virtuoso's chairman and CEO Matthew D. Upchurch praised the resort, saying, Atlantis Paradise Island exemplifies the innovation, collaboration, and unwavering commitment that defines our network, and they deserve to be recognized for their dedication that elevates the Virtuoso network and the industry as a whole. And the hotel has other initiatives as well, such as its can and bottling recycling program, as well as the conversion of wooden pallets to mulch used to decorate the surrounding area. Reporting for Our News and reminding you to put sustainability first, I'm Joshua Williams.
Still to come on Our News, Today in History, find out interesting facts about the day that was August 21st. And then in Our News at 7:30, a mistrial declared in an attempted murder case. We'll tell you what led to the judge's decision. And Grand Bahama Police talk road safety following 3 deadly car accidents this week. What you can do to keep yourself safe when Our News returns.
At Struckham, we're all about peace of mind.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
My name is Mistrial Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any options.
On this day in Bahamian history, in 1734, James Scott became the second Speaker of the House of Assembly. In 1943, Perry Gladstone Christie was born in Nassau. He first became Prime Minister in 2002, served again from 2012, and after 40 years representing Centreville, lost his seat in 2017. Then in 1992, Hubert Alexander Ingram was sworn in as Prime Minister, serving 3 terms between 1992 and 2012, and leading the F&M to multiple election victories. And in 2022, the Bahamas hosted its inaugural Dragon Boat Race Championships. To learn more about the events that shaped the day that was August 21st, head over to ournews.bs. Well, that does it for our news at 7. Megan Shepherd is up next at 7:30. But first, it's time for Thursday is the New Friday. Our news digital reporter, Daniela Dorset, is in for entertainment correspondent Danielle Miller. And Daniela is somewhere on the island getting the weekend started.
Hey, Berthany.
Daniela?
Of course, I know you were expecting Danielle, but you got Daniela because Danielle is getting prepared for next week's adventure. And of course, we'll give you more details on that next week. But as of this week, we are here at the Atlantis to see the magic of world-renowned illusionist Rob Lake. And of course, this is just the first stop of the evening. Later on, after the show is over, we'll be heading down to Club Aura for Dale Fuego nights. Entry complimentary, and so are the salsa lessons for those that don't know how to, and an $80 drink, all-you-can-drink package. And of course, speaking of Club Aura, we will be here next week to listen to the sounds of one of the world's largest DJs, Steve Aoki, and you don't want to miss it. Entry is not complimentary. But before I go to my seat, you should definitely tune in to Thursday is the New Fridays on all of our social media platforms for your dose of entertainment adventure. Until next week, I'm Daniela Dorset.
Alrighty, thanks so much, Daniela. Looks like a great time. And thanks so much, Berthany. Well, be sure to stay tuned to our news on Thursday to see more escapades like that with our Daniela Dorset. But for now, here are your latest headlines.
First tonight, power woes on family islands could soon be a thing of the past as Bahamas Power and Light rolls out a $30 million energy stabilization project.
Plus, police on Grand Bahama are sending a stern message to motorists. This after 3 teens were killed in separate traffic fatalities within 1 week. And then it's back to the classroom in a matter of days. We took to the streets to find out just how prepared parents are. Our Berthany McDermott tells us parents are appreciating the annual back-to-school fat-free holiday. And later, artistry, sustainability, and empowerment. Tonight's City in Focus takes a deep dive into Grand Bahama's Crafters Academy, designed to empower local entrepreneurs. We have the details for these stories and more when our news continues.
Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the Our News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
Step into the new era of transportation when you visit the new BYD electric showroom in the mall at Marathon. Check out the latest models, find out about the latest tech features, and feel the luxurious quality of their designs. Register for a test drive and they will pick you up right from the mall for a smooth yet powerful ride. There's also easy in-house financing and leasing options, so you can drive happily ever after in your electric BYD.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that running nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set up all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set up all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Cetamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
At Struckham, we're all about peace of mind. With the latest tools and technology like Pest Pack, managing pest control just got easier.
Welcome to our news and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. Bahamas Power and Light customers continue to sound off on sky-high power bills this summer, many questioning why their monthly charges have soared, despite government assurances that rate adjustments would help to bring relief. According to BPL CEO Tony Seymour, the answer lies in a spike in fuel costs during the summer months, as higher demand for electricity forces the company to use more expensive diesel generation, particularly from its Blue Hills power station.
In the winter months, the load on New Providence is like maybe 90 to 100 megawatts. We can supply the entire island of New Providence in the winter months from the Clifton Pier Power Station. The Clifton Pier Power Station runs on heavy fuel oil, which is the cheaper fuel. However, in the summer months, our load increases to about 290 megawatts. So that's an additional 200 megawatts of demand on the island of New Providence alone. Clifton Pier Power Station cannot supply the island in the summer months on its own.
Seymour added that fuel consumption rises in the summer due to higher electricity demand. She also noted that all power generation on the Family Islands rely on diesel, which is a more costly fuel. To bring some relief, the government is covering part of the fuel costs this summer through a rebates program that holds rates steady until the end of September. BPL CEO leaves this example for customers.
If the outside air temperature is 85 degrees, my AC has to cool the inside of my house from 85 degrees to 70 degrees. That is a 15-degree difference. If the outside air temperature increases to 95 degrees, my AC is still set at 70. It has to work that much harder to cool the house to that temperature. So your appliances are working harder because it's hotter. It's the same thing with your fridge setting. If your homes are not insulated, if your AC is on and your windows are not sealed properly, these are things that cause your consumption to go up.
Well, a jury didn't get to decide the fate of a man accused of attempted murder after a judge declared a mistrial because a key witness was unavailable. Cleophas Cash Smith is expected to face a retrial for the October 23, 2022 shooting of Leonard Simonet. Simonet was working on a car through Peter Street when two gunmen, one of them alleged to be Smith, emerged from a car and shot him. Simonet was killed in an unrelated incident in April 2025. A 32-year-old man found trying to bribe a police officer was arraigned Wednesday morning in magistrate's court. The charge comes from a stop-and-search traffic incident that happened on Tuesday, August 19th. He was arraigned on Wednesday in the magistrate's court. He pleaded guilty and was fined $1,500. Well, it's been a heartbreaking week for Grant, Bahama. This as in less than 1 week, 3 teenagers were killed in separate traffic fatalities, all fueled by speed, according to police. The tragedies have left families devastated and the wider community shaken. In response, police launched an island-wide road safety initiative Wednesday afternoon, flooding busy roads with officers, increasing patrols, and handing out flyers urging drivers to slow down. Traffic Chief Superintendent Christopher Farquharson shares more about the effort.
Where we coming out and giving flyers to motorists throughout not only Grand Bahama, in Abaco and Bimini. These flyers are advising the motorists to drive with due care and attention. Do not drive while under the influence of alcohol. Also to stay within the speed limits. All right, we know that speed is what kills. Accidents will happen, but speed kills. So we encouraging people to stay within the speed limits. And be curious to other road users and pay attention to the traffic lights and other traffic signs throughout the streets.
The first crash happened early Sunday morning at East Atlantic Drive and Tamarind Street. 18-year-old Mateo King and 19-year-old Clifford Bryce were killed. 2 women were also injured. Then, less than 24 hours later, another life was cut short. 13-year-old Prince Chaz Wright died when the car he was riding in slammed into a tractor on Warren J. Lavardi Highway.
Various roads have different speed limits, so you gotta pay attention. But where there's no sign on the highway, is 45, and where there's no sign within the community, it is 25. But you must pay attention to the speed limit at all times.
Now, police say careless driving carries a fine of up to $150. They're also urging parents to make sure your children are buckled in and strapped into car seats if they're under the age of 5. The back-to-school heat is on, and parents are making final stops to prepare their little ones for the fall semester. And with the government providing the VAT relief for school supplies, parents we spoke to said that VAT cut gives some reliefs to their pocket. Berthany McDermott spoke with parents today.
It's been a good response. Businesses are accustomed to it now because it's been in play for a couple of years, and folks are definitely taking advantage of it.
Days away from the opening of the new school year and the back-to-school rush has started. Fortunately for parents and businesses, the government returned with its VAT back-to-school holiday that removes VAT on school supplies, clothes, and other essential items. Communications Director in the Department of Inland Revenue, John Williams, tells us it provides an opportunity for Bahamians to shop locally for supplies. We spoke with this Abaco parent who traveled to New Providence to get his 3 children back to school ready.
We find school bag and tights and singlet and the whole works, so that's pretty good.
So you say you came from Abaco. Why did you feel the need to come to Nassau?
Because it's much easier and less headache and less stressful. So we find everything we need.
Meanwhile, Timothy Bain is getting his 3rd grader ready for the fall semester.
I always wait for the holiday because I need to save my coins. So I went to Janaeus just yesterday, and even though the line was a bit long, I knew the sizes I was going for, so I only spent about maybe 15 minutes at best. I'll probably wait till this weekend to get some more supplies.
But others tell us they started school prep well ahead of the VAT holiday in hopes of avoiding crowds and getting everything they need.
So far, it's been pretty easy. I don't find it to be hectic at all. I found everything that I needed to find. It wasn't too busy in the stores for me because I went early, so I didn't really have to deal with any backup or hiccups with anything.
So pretty much when the school closes, I get my back to school shopping out of the way.
So were you able to get everything that you needed?
Everything. I was doing it for my kid. My daughter's 15, my son is 12. So I've been doing it for a while now, so I know where to go to get everything.
The VAT holiday began August 10th and will end on September 6th. Among the list of items covered under the VAT exemption are school supplies, personal computers, and related accessories, hair accessories, clothes, and bags. Parents telling us they have felt the relief.
Make you save money and then you could get more actually. Instead of buying 1 pack of singlet, you could get actually extra pack and so forth.
I think it was 2 years ago I got uniform and it's maybe almost $200, whereas I could see, I save at least $50, $60 just on waiting. So you might not like the wait, but it'll be worth it for your pocket.
Reporting for our news, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Thanks so much, Berthany. Employees at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas are set to see pay raises and new benefits under a fresh industrial agreement signed Wednesday with the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union. The 8-year deal covers about 75 employees and includes a 6% salary increase. BCB Chairman Paiswell Forbes says the hope is that workers will begin receiving those funds by the end of this month.
There are going to be some salary scales increased by there are going to be some new 5 scales now. Also, we're going to have we're going to strengthen our complaints and grievance procedure. There's been a amicable understanding between the union and the corporation in that regard.
The agreement also boosts maternity leave from 12 weeks to 13, paternity leave to 10 days, and includes increases in allowances for meals, on-call work, and subsistence. Sick leave has also been expanded. But BCPOU President Sherry Benjamin says mental health days for employees is perhaps the most notable addition.
Especially for our media personalities, those persons who would go out there, the reporters, the cameramen who would go out there on those graphic murder scenes and accident scenes and stuff like that. They are the ones who we are really, really looking at to take those resets where they are able to get themselves together, compose themselves, and come back to work.
All right, well, we've still got lots more news to share with you tonight, but first, meteorologist Greg Thompson joins us for your first look at temperatures. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Megan, and happy Thursday evening, everybody. A very warm evening on the outside. 87 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds. Your winds out of the west-southwest at 6 miles per hour, but your feels-like temperature is a very warm 95 degrees. Satellite radar composite. Weak high pressure at the surface, keeping us with some light winds and some very warm temperatures. But we have that southwesterly wind across the area, and that's bringing in some moisture. That's all attached to Erin, which is well to the north of us. And that system will continue to pull away. But that moisture plume will remain in place for the next couple of days. So we're looking for some showers, some isolated thunderstorms to take us into the weekend and possibly even into early next week. That's a quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast and a look at the tropics still to come.
When our news comes back from the break, our Candino Knowles takes us to Grand Bahama, where local entrepreneurs are turning sustainable, traditional Bahamian skills into new streams of income. Find out how the GBPA is doing its part to lead the initiative. Plus, leader of the Valley Boys, Trevor Davis, speaks to our Jerome Sawyer on this week's episode of On the Record, his first appearance speaking in depth to the group's internal disputes. And later, meteorologist Greg Thompson has the latest on the tropics. We'll tell you what you need to keep an eye on. Those details coming up when our news returns.
At Struckham, we're all about peace of mind. With the latest tools and technology like PestPack, managing pest control just got easier. It's simple. Log on to the portal to review past services or monitor trends. Just tap Service Reports to access detailed records and see how we're keeping your business pest-free. You can even customize permissions so your teams in maintenance and health and safety have real-time access to everything they need. With PestPack, you're in control, anytime, anywhere. Get ready to simplify pest management with just a few taps.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest-running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk, We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday.
Tonight in City in Focus, we take you back to the Grand Lucayan Resort, where the Freeport Business Expo recently took place. That's where our news anchor, Candino Knowles, spoke with the founder of a program empowering Grand Bahamians by turning sustainable traditional skills into new opportunities.
It's a program that blends artistry, sustainability, and empowerment at a time when Grand Bahama is seeing fresh investment, like Carnival's Celebration Key. It's called Crafters Academy, a GBPA initiative that was recently featured at Freeport Business Expo, bringing together local talent, innovators, and entrepreneurs. For founder Fatima Zara Kaboub, the vision is simple: use craft as a pathway to empowerment. From colorful coasters carved out from casuarina trees to bowls made from coconuts and baskets reimagined through fashion design, the program gives a fresh spin to traditions many of us grew up with.
Our primary focus is people with no skills, who don't know how to make anything, and we teach them to make simple things that are sustainable, that are 100% from Grand Bahama, with the Grand Bahamas sort of special touch, and using the artists to give that heritage, that sort of cultural feel to the products we want to see, hopefully in the future in all the straw markets.
The idea is to take what's right in our backyards, pair it with creativity, and turn it into something people can be proud to sell and proud to buy. As for what those proudly Bahamian products look like,
so these are the Talk That True Bahamian coasters made in Grand Bahama, and on it's got a few sayings about when you get drunk. The first one is bus up. It means you've gone beyond tipsy. There's kapunkal up. You might know that one. It means you may need to sit down. Then you got mash up, done for the night, or your tank up, which means no more drinks for you. Now, which one are you?
And for many Crafters Academy students, it's their first real chance to turn creativity into business.
You don't need huge seed money to start a business. Those are, the coasters behind me, those are made from casuarina trees that grows in everyone's backyard. They're invasive, and most of us cut the branches and throw them in the bin. So this is the idea, of to reuse them, repackage them, paint them, and sell them. And they're wonderful gifts.
And Kaboub's vision goes beyond just local sales. She says the Crafters Academy is about reimagining Bahamian products for the global stage, proving that creativity, culture, and sustainability can also drive opportunity. Reporting for Our News, I'm Candino Knowles.
Thanks so much, Candino. Well, tonight on the Record, we hear directly from the Junkanoo community and one of its most recognized leaders. Trevor Davis, leader of the Valley Boys, is speaking out, shedding light on the internal power struggle that has since spilled into the public in recent months. The fallout has now created tension within the group and confusion among loyal fans and supporters. Davis says the controversy centers on something fundamental: the official registration of the group. According to him, repeated calls were made for the leadership to complete the registration, but it was not done. That delay, he says, left the group vulnerable and wide open for someone else to step in and secure the Valley Boys' name.
Once we discovered it wasn't registered, we tried again, and obviously to make communication, to have the then leaders at that time to sit to the table to get the group registered, because what that means, anybody with a business acumen or anybody that understands business know that you don't own nothing unless it's properly documented. And so all this notion that someone take it or we came in and we hijacked, no. What if, Drew, you and your colleagues, as much as you like Junkanoo, and your friends that you went to college with, came to the Bahamas and you all had taken that name?
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
Coming up in sports, an update from the volleyball court at the CVCs, tennis stars shine at the Billie Jean King Cup, and Ian Lewis is feeling right at home in his promotion with the Marlins.
Cancer.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and timely.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. It was a struggle for both Bahamian teams Wednesday night at the Kazova Senior Volleyball Championships. The ladies were eliminated from medal contention, while the men have one last shot at redemption tonight. In the women's division, defending champions Jamaica eliminated the Bahamas with a 3-1 victory in the quarterfinal at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. Jamaica took the match 26-24, 18-25, 25-21, and 25-13 to advance to face Trinidad and Tobago in the semis. The Bahamas was relegated to the 5th place game. On the men's side, defending champion Suriname clinched the top spot in Pool A with a 3-1 win over the Bahamas, 30-28, 26-24, 25-27, and 25-23. Suriname moves into the semifinal while the Bahamas faces Barbados tonight in the quarterfinal. Team Bahamas pulled off a huge win over Jamaica to secure a spot in the promotional playoffs at the Billie Jean King Cup in El Salvador. Leading the way was Simone Pratt, who has yet to drop a game this entire tournament. She dominated her Jamaican opponent 6-love, 6-love. That makes 3 straight 6-love, 6-love wins for Pratt, already a historic run for the Bahamas at the Billie Jean King Cup. In the number 1 spot, national champion Sydney Clark fell to Naja Dawson 2-6, 4-6. In the decisive doubles match, the team went to Clark and Pratt, and the Bahamas built commanding leads in both sets to hold off Jamaica's late push to win 7-6, 7-5. The win caps an undefeated run in pool play for Team Bahamas. Next up, the playoff round. They will face a 3-nation pool with only 2 teams advancing to promotion. Since he was promoted to High A earlier this month, Miami Marlins prospect Ian Lewis has had a seamless transition to the next step in his pro baseball career. In 13 games with the Beloit Sky Car, Lewis is hitting a staggering .404 with a .482 on-base percentage, a .993 OPS, and 9 stolen bases. His numbers with the Jupiter Hammerheads at low A that prompted the call-up. He was batting .252 with the team leading 6 home runs, 22 RBI, and 13 stolen bases in just 46 games. Athletics competition finally got underway for Team Bahamas at the Junior Pan American Games in Paraguay. Tasha Stubbs was in action in the women's javelin and finished 6th with a best throw of 45.45 meters. Zion Miller ran in the first of 2 400-meter semifinals and finished 10th overall in 47.60 seconds. The final member of Team Bahamas in competition, Anton Smith, will take on the triple jump tomorrow night. That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS. We have national teams competing all over the world and a big one this weekend in Nicaragua. Haven't heard from our Spanish-speaking correspondent yet, but I'm sure I'll hear from John at some point, right? Have to. Back to the studio.
On the other side of this break, Craig is back in the Weather Center with a complete look at your forecasts across the country. Plus, he's got the latest on the tropics as forecasters continue to monitor developing systems. The details in just 90 seconds on Our News.
Welcome.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
My name is Mistrial Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and time allocated to do the installation.
This is our news. Welcome back. Moisture plume attached to Erin still plaguing us with some showers and some thunderstorms across our area. That will remain in place as Erin continues to pull towards the northeast and away from our area, and that will be pulling some of that tropical moisture across the Caribbean, across our area. Weak pressure at the surface will continue to keep us with some light winds. That should take us into the weekends, and boating conditions inside the island will be pretty nice. Still a caution and an advisory on the outside as we still have some swells. And of course, the tropics, we still have Erin out there, which is pulling towards the north and east and away from our area. Very large storm, and those effects will continue to plague the eastern seaboard with the swells, as well as some dangerous rip currents. So beaching and boating will still remain a challenge. But Erin will stay out there, not really affecting any landmass, will weaken to a remnant low by the early part of next week. In the meantime, we have a couple of other areas that the National Hurricane Center is watching. One approaching the Leeward Islands that has a high chance for formation. We will watch this one, but most of the models will be taking this one into the open Atlantic and away from our area. We also have another one in the Central Atlantic that shows some signs of development, but that is going to take a while. And then we have a very strong tropical wave coming off of Africa. But believe it or not, this one little speck you see up there, National Hurricane Center watching that's really not going to be doing anything in the tropics. Taking a look at our future forecast, moisture plume across our area will stay in place, mostly across the northwest Bahamas, so showers and isolated thunderstorms likely across that area. The remainder of the Bahamas remaining quiet as that high-pressure ridge takes charge, and eventually by early next week, that high-pressure system will continue with us, keeping us with some very warm temperatures for the upcoming week. Boating forecast, advisory on the Atlantic side still, and of course, the rip current risk will remain high. Southwest to west winds at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times. Seas running 2 to 3 feet, building up to 5 to 7 feet along Atlantic exposures. High tide is at 7:47 at night. Low tide takes place at 1:54 in the morning. Southeast Bahamas, small craft advisory in place as well, mainly for the Atlantic side, but your winds will be more east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas running 2 to 4 feet, and inshore 5 to 7 feet along Atlantic exposures. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your extended forecast, we'll keep the spotty showers in the forecast through Friday. Much more improved conditions on Saturday. Warm temperatures, mostly sunny conditions for the end of the weekend into early next week. And those temperatures will be climbing. Look at Tuesday, 93 degrees, but those feels-like temperatures will be in the triple digits. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Thanks so much, Greg. And with that, we thank you so much for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a safe and wonderful evening.